we play this right, it is over before it's begun.
There's really no means to abort.
We'll get her killed and expose the entire program.
Our asset is embedded. We don't have the ability to call her off.
We move now! Her cover's low! It's dead core! Shoot it!
So we're just going to pretend that a CIA quick reaction force did not execute a kill mission in front of CBS News.
Howdy there, friend. Today, we're talking about a TV show called The Lioness, sometimes called Special Ops. Lioness on Paramount+. Folks online have been yapping about this show and wondering if there's gonna be a season 3. Now, some might say it's a bit early to be chattering about a third season, what with the first season being so fresh. But hey, the rumor mill never waits. We've dug through online forums, message boards, and all sorts of fan chatter to give you the lowdown on everything folks are saying about The Lioness Season 3, the whispering about renewals. Now, you might be wondering why folks are already gossiping about a third season when the show is still new. Well, that's just how the world works these days. The internet doesn't rest, and fans don't like waiting. Word got around that Paramount Plus might be mighty pleased with the results of The Lioness, even though they ain't come out and said, we're doing Season 2 or Season 3. Some fans figure that because Taylor Sheridan's other shows, Yellowstone 1923, Mayor of Kingstown, and so on, got quick renewals, The Lioness might follow in their footsteps. Over on forums like Reddit, places called RR Paramount Plus, or smaller boards about The Lioness, folks are pointing to the big stars. When you got Zoe Saldaña, Nicole Kidman, and Morgan Freeman aboard, it usually means the show's expensive, but it also means there's a lot of eyes watching. Big names help a show shine, so fans believe Paramount Plus wouldn't risk losing that spark. Lots of watchers suspect the network will want to keep the momentum going, maybe even order in multiple seasons in one go. Still, nothing is set in stone. TV folks got all sorts of reasons to renew or cancel. Sometimes the budget's too high or scheduling gets rough. But the mood out there on the internet campfire is pretty upbeat. Folks like the story, they like the strong female leads, and they like the big action set pieces. That kind of chatter usually bodes well for more seasons. Season 3, story guessworks. So, what might actually happen in a third season of The Lioness? Well, we can't peek inside Taylor Sheridan's head, but we can sure poke around at what fans are predicting. The first season showed us Joe, Zoe Saldaña, balancing her CIA duties with her family life, all while Cruz, Leisla de Oliveira, went deep undercover in a risky mission. By the end of that season, there were still lots of loose ends. The mission's fallout, Cruz's emotional scars, and Joe's struggle to keep her loved ones safe. Fans guess that Season 2 will likely keep panning that gold, showing more secret missions, more behind-the-scenes CIA wrangling, and more personal drama for Joe and Cruz. If that's the case, then Season 3 could raise those stakes even higher, bigger threats. Some folks think the show might tackle an even larger terrorist group or a secret global threat that builds over time, like how some shows use one big enemy that keeps reappearing. Changes in command. Others say maybe Nicole Kidman's character, Kaitlyn Meade, might move up the CIA ladder, or even face off against new bosses. That could cause friction with Joe and the rest of the Lioness program. Personal strains. Joe's daughter could get older and start asking tougher questions about what mama does for a living. Cruz might realize that the more missions she goes on, the harder it is to return to a normal life. On Twitter, some viewers have also mentioned they'd like to see the show visit different countries each season. So, by Season 3, the Lioness could be stationed in a brand new region, maybe in Eastern Europe, Africa, or somewhere else that poses fresh challenges. Which cast members could saddle up again? When you look at a potential Season 3, you gotta wonder who's coming back. We all know Zoe Saldaña's Joe is the heart and soul of the show so far, but Zoe Saldaña's a busy gal, starring in Avatar films and other big Hollywood projects. Could she stick around for 3 entire seasons? Fans sure hope so, but they're also bracing themselves for surprises. Spy thrillers sometimes kill off main characters or have them retire. With the CIA background, new faces can show up to lead operations, or old faces might disappear if the story calls for it. Nicole Kidman's Kaitlyn Meade might step more into the spotlight. Some watchers say she could become the main puppet master of the Lioness program, especially if Joe steps away from fieldwork. That would open the door for fresh characters, maybe younger recruits who Cruz trains, or new CIA officers who butt heads with Kaitlyn. As for Cruz, Laisla de Oliveira's role might expand. She started as a recruit, but by season 3, she might be leading her own missions. Imagine a scenario where Cruz has to handle a brand new rookie, kind of like Joe once handled her. That sort of storyline would give the show a chance to circle back on the main themes: sacrifice, loyalty, and the cost of spy work. Fans on Reddit have also suggested that new characters, like local assets or foreign agents, could become main cast members if the show moves to a different part of the world. That'd keep the story fresh and bring in different cultures, languages, and challenges. Filming and scheduling road bumps. Now, one thing that might throw a wrench in the works is filming schedules. Taylor Sheridan's a busy bee, writing and producing multiple shows. That means he ain't got endless time to work on the Lioness. Plus, the main cast, especially Zoe Saldaña and Nicole Kidman, also juggle movie deals and other TV roles. All this might slow down how fast the Lioness can shoot new seasons. We've seen with Sheridan's other series, like 1923 and Yellowstone, that sometimes big actors have to fit film in around other commitments. If that happens here, we might have a longer wait between seasons. Some folks predict that if the show does get a season 3, it might not appear for a year or two after season 2. That's not uncommon nowadays. Plenty of popular shows take long breaks. But it can test fans' patience. Then there's the money matter. Having Hollywood stars, overseas locations, and big action scenes ain't cheap. Paramount Plus might need the show to keep a strong audience to justify the budget for multiple seasons. If viewership dips, or if the show gets overshadowed by the next big TV craze, that could cause trouble for a future season 3. But so far, folks seem pretty excited. So we'll see how it pans out. The word on the web, forums, and social media. If you poke around the internet, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook groups dedicated to Taylor Sheridan shows, you'll find tons of folks chewing the fat about the Lioness. Some love the show's mix of heart-thumping action and emotional drama. Others want more focus on the spycraft side of things, saying they'd like to see deeper investigations, sneaky tactics, or big conspiracies. All these opinions can shape what the writers do if the show continues. There's also a strong cheer from fans about how the show highlights tough women. Joe, Cruz, and Kaitlyn each got their own style of strength. Fans hope that by season 3, we'll see even more female agents or get deeper looks at how these ladies handle moral dilemmas. If the Lioness keeps that angle fresh, it might stand out from other spy shows that mainly feature men in the driver's seat. Some folks have even joked about crossovers with other Sheridan series, like Yellowstone, but that's likely just fans having fun. Yellowstone's set in a modern ranching world, and the Lioness deals with CIA missions across the globe. Two pretty different arenas. Still, it shows how folks are thinking big. They want more of this universe, even if it means dreaming up wild ideas. Could season 3 take a time jump? Another big guess folks like to toss around is whether the show might skip forward in time. A time jump is sometimes used in TV to keep things fresh. Instead of picking up exactly where season 2 leaves off, season 3 might jump a year or two or more down the road. If that happens, we might find Joe in a new position. Maybe she's retired, or maybe she's running a bigger chunk of the CIA. Cruz could be seasoned by then, teaching younger recruits how to go undercover. A time jump also helps if real-life schedules cause delays. The writers might lean on that gap in the story to say, hey, some years passed off-screen, here's what changed. That can sometimes solve the problem of actors who can't come back, or shift the focus to new characters if needed. On the other hand, some fans say they'd rather see the story flow naturally from one season to the next. They think a big-time jump can skip important details that they'd rather watch unfold on screen. It's all speculation for now, but it's worth keeping in mind as we talk about Season 3. The big question, will Season 3 really happen? After all this jawing, you might wonder, So are we sure season 3's coming? Truth is, we don't know for certain. Paramount Plus hasn't waved a flag or made an official announcement. But that hasn't stopped fans from chattering like magpies around a water trough. Given Sheridan's success with other shows, and the big actors involved, lots of folks think it's more likely than not. Of course, it hinges on a few things. Viewership. If folks keep watching and talking, that boosts the show's odds. Next is budget. Big stars and big action scenes cost a pretty penny. Paramount Plus has to see a profit or enough buzz to justify it. Lastly, the schedules. Taylor Sheridan and the cast have other fish to fry. They gotta line up the right times to film. If everything lines up nicely, we might see season 3 get the green light. If things go sideways though, like costs getting too high or star schedules getting too messy, maybe they'll decide to wrap up earlier.